In a world built on light and pixels, one name quietly powers our modern existence. It's not just a brand, it's an ecosystem. Invisible, yet everywhere. Before we go further, if you're someone who sees systems where others see screens, if you're obsessed with understanding how the world really works, subscribe to Success Operating Systems. Because here, we don't just tell stories. We decode blueprints. Number 1. Origins, The Spark in the Ashes, 1938. In 1938, a 28-year-old dreamer named Lee Byung-chul opened a small trading company in Daegu, Korea. He sold dried fish, noodles, and groceries. The world around him was turbulent, Korea under occupation, shadowed by war and poverty. But Lee saw something others missed. Chaos is fertile ground for creation. He named his company Samsung, meaning 3 stars. In Korean culture, the number 3 symbolizes something big, powerful, and eternal. Stars, timeless brilliance. The message was simple: build something vast, luminous, and enduring. But his empire was born not in abundance, but in scarcity. Imports were uncertain, resources scarce, markets unstable. Yet in that struggle, Lee built his first operating system, not digital, but human. Discipline, control, long-term vision. And it's stories like this, a vision built from nothing, that we study here on Success Operating Systems. If the DNA of great systems fascinates you, from small trading shops to global tech empires, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. Because what you're about to learn from Samsung's evolution could change how you build your own life system. Now let's keep decoding. By the end of the Korean War, Lee wasn't just trading. He was transforming. He diversified into textiles, sugar, and insurance. Then into construction and heavy industry. To him, survival wasn't enough. The goal was structure. Each business wasn't a product. It was a node in a network. And that network became the foundation for something far greater. Number 2. Building an empire of systems. By the 1960s, Samsung's ambition had outgrown its origins. Lee realized that true power didn't come from what you sold. It came from what you controlled. So he built vertically: insurance, logistics, manufacturing, finance. When the rest of the world was focused on making products, Samsung was quietly building an ecosystem. Then came the pivot: electronics. In 1969, Samsung Electronics was born. Their first product, a black and white television, wasn't groundbreaking, but it was symbolic. It marked the birth of Samsung as a technology company. Soon came microwaves, air conditioners, color TVs, and personal computers. But the turning point came in 1983, semiconductors. Samsung began making chips not just for itself, but for the world, even for its rivals. That's when Samsung stopped competing in the game and started defining it. This was no longer a company. It was an organism. A self-sustaining ecosystem that made the parts, built the devices, financed the production, and shipped the products, often on ships it had constructed itself. Number 3. Culture, control, and the Chaebol Code. Samsung's rise mirrored the rebirth of South Korea. It wasn't just a business, it was a national symbol. In a country rebuilding from ashes, Samsung embodied pride, discipline, and progress. But that identity came with a cost. The Chaebol model, family-owned conglomerates interwoven with government and society, bred both loyalty and control. Samsung became a world of its own. Hospitals, schools, housing, even sports teams, all under the 3 stars. Employees often spoke of working not for Samsung, but within it. An ecosystem so tight that it could feel like destiny. Innovation was rewarded, but obedience was expected. The mantra inside Samsung was whispered like scripture: change everything except your mother. In other words, innovate, but never betray your origin. That duality, progress and tradition, is what powered Samsung's executional brilliance. But it also formed the shadow that would haunt it later. Number 4. Power, scandal, and the price of scale. Every system, no matter how advanced, carries a vulnerability: entropy. As Samsung's influence grew, so did its entanglement with politics and power. Lee Kuan-hee, who succeeded his father, was charged with tax evasion and bribery. Later, his son Lee Jae-young, the current heir, was imprisoned in a massive corruption scandal that toppled South Korea's president. It was more than a trial. It was a reckoning. The system had grown too large, too intertwined with the state to be entirely clean. Yet, Samsung didn't collapse. Because Samsung was the system. Its influence stretched across GDP, exports, and even national identity. To dismantle Samsung was to risk dismantling Korea's economy itself. That paradox, power that outgrows accountability, is a warning for every empire, corporate or personal. Control too much, and you risk becoming captive to your own creation. Number 5. The mirror, technology, humanity, and the hidden pulse. Pick up your phone. Look at the screen. Chances are Samsung had a hand in building it, whether or not it bears their name. Their chips power Apple's iPhones, Tesla's hardware, even data centers that run the internet itself. Samsung isn't just a brand. It's the invisible infrastructure of modern life. But when the world runs on your products, what does that do to the soul of a company? And what does it do to us, the users? Technology is meant to serve humanity. But in our rush to advance, we've blurred that line. We upgrade faster than we evolve. We connect more, but feel less. We touch glass screens, but forget the people behind them. Samsung's evolution is a mirror of our own. It reflects ambition, efficiency, and brilliance, but also control, conformity, and dependence. The heart beneath that screen beats for all of us. Number 6. The lessons hidden in the code. Every great system leaves behind a blueprint, and Samsung's is rich with patterns worth decoding. 1. Build systems, not products. Samsung didn't just sell goods, it built a world. You can do the same in your field. Think ecosystems, not items. 2. Control the value chain. Owning your inputs means owning your destiny. Don't rent the core of your craft, master it. 3. Culture is a codebase. Your habits, your team, your rituals. They're the architecture of everything you create. 4. Learn faster than you fail. From exploding phones to public scandals, Samsung always rebuilt stronger. Resilience isn't avoidance. It's evolution under pressure. 5. Power without ethics is decay. Influence must be grounded in responsibility, or it consumes its creators. 6. Innovation without humanity is hollow. Progress only matters when it uplifts, not replaces, the human heart. Number 7. Closing reflections. The heart beneath the screen. You hold a screen. It glows softly in your hand. You tap, swipe, scroll, and think it's just glass and code. But beneath that glow beats something older. Ambition, identity, and the eternal human desire to build something that lasts. Samsung's story isn't just the rise of a company. It's a parable about humanity, about how systems grow, evolve, and sometimes lose sight of their soul. And yet, within those same systems lies the blueprint for our next leap. If this story made you pause, if it made you see the world differently, then join us. Subscribe to Success Operating Systems, where we decode the world's deepest systems, so you can build your own. Because beneath every screen, there's a heart. And that's where every revolution begins.